Girl Beats. Welcome to Girl Beats Christ podcast. It's Ellie and
Ella. And
today we're gonna be yapping about something.
Today we're going to be talking about hockey hats. Ellie, what is your take on this? No, don't do that!
Hey everyone, welcome to Girl Meets Christ podcast. This is your host Ellie.
And Ella.
And today we're going to be talking about the importance of your surroundings.
Yes.
Cheers.
Ding.
We took a dinner break.
Yeah, we took a dinner break.
That's why it's like different, a little bit different.
So today we're going to be talking about the importance of your surroundings, what you're surrounding yourself with, people, media, just like your environment in general, and just kind of the importance of that and what the Bible says about it. And then kind of our personal experiences and also personal thoughts about it. First of all, the Bible talks so much about surrounding yourself with good. Like there's multiple verses about just your surroundings and making sure you have positive around you. But I wanted to say that I feel like the biggest misconception with that is that Christians think, I've heard a lot of Christians that are like this, of like, because we need to surround ourselves with good, I feel like a lot of people will...
It doesn't mean you have to completely block out the bad.
Right.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Like you still have a role as a Christian to be a positive in someone else's life.
Yes.
But it's about the people that you're surrounding yourself with that are close influences that you allow to influence your life.
Yes.
Those people need to be positive and need to be pushing you in a good direction. And so I think some of those like hard things, like a misconception with like Christianity, is that we are just only supposed to surround ourselves with good people. We are supposed to have a close circle that are good people and that encourage us in a positive direction, but you also need to be the good in other people's lives as well. It's not all about just like, oh, I just need to have this perfect little like box and keep myself safe here. Like you need to go out and make yourself
You need
uncomfortable.
to step out.
Yeah, like that's the whole thing of like missions, and like our whole purpose on this earth is to spread Jesus'
You
love.
might be the only Bible that someone ever reads.
I've been seeing that on like Instagram.
Yeah, I have too.
And it's so good. Like it's a good point. Like I saw one about like your coworkers. It's like you might be the only Bible that your coworkers ever read. And don't take that as a like, oh, I'm the Bible. It's like you might be the only example of
like
Jesus.
the closest thing that they get to Jesus. You know what I mean?
You might be the only example of Jesus. Make sure you're being a good one.
Yeah.
And don't like cut yourself off from negative people. Because there's also that. There's so much about like, oh, I just need to cut them out of my life. And like I've been totally guilty of that. Of like sometimes you don't need to cut people out. You just need to put an appropriate boundary of how close they can get to you.
Exactly.
Because like some people can be someone that you don't want to let in super close, but you do still need to keep in your life to be an example to them of what Christ is like.
Exactly.
Because that's it's so hypocritical for like I feel like for me when I got baptized and when I started changing my life around, you can't cut all those people out of your life. You can cut out how close they are to you and how close you let them to your heart and to influence you. But cutting them completely out, what does that show them? Oh, she found Jesus and then she cut me out of her life.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
That's the example you're leaving behind,
right? Like
for that person.
Oh wow, she found Jesus and now she's completely different and doesn't partake in the stuff that me and her used to partake in. So like if you have friends that you used to like get together with, you know, like if you have friends that you get together with and you drink or you smoke or you go out and hang out with guys, like, or like if you're a guy, like you go hook up with girls, if they see a change in you and then they see that you're doing things differently now, you don't need to completely cut them out of your life. You just let them know that I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to do that kind of things with my life. That'll make more of an impact on
That's because that's representing like a good change. Whereas if you just completely cut them out, that looks bad.
Yeah, they're like,
it doesn't make them feel good. Yeah.
It leaves like a bad taste in your mouth rather than
what would Jesus do?
change.
Not that. Not that girlfriend.
Jesus didn't just like cut people out. I mean, he went out and helped and served the people that were like that.
He actively like sought to help them.
And the people that were like, oh, why are like that were hypocrites of like Jesus of like, oh, why are you being around people like that? Jesus was like, because
why not? They need So we came up with a little analogy. It says you are what you eat. So that doesn't just mean food. So like you are what you eat, you are what your mind, what you're consuming, your mind, through your mind, your ears. So basically you are what you consume. You are what you let influence you, whether you are letting it influence you or not. You can subconsciously be influenced by things. So it's whatever you surround yourself with, whatever you normalize and familiarize, um, is what you eventually start to become, and you start to like conform to that. You need to be strong within your identity before you can branch out and like be around people that or be around things that are not
Not good influences.
not necessarily good influences.
Yeah. I think it's important, especially like when I went from acting a certain way with certain friends to kind of changing who I was surrounding myself with. I needed to become strong enough in
You need to
my
be able
faith
to
in God.
differentiate like the good and the bad.
You need to differentiate when you're being an influence to someone and when you are being influenced by someone.
Yeah, okay, that's good. I was sitting in the car with my brother one day and I was like, "Okay, do you want to play a song?" Because I was just playing. I usually just play the music, and I was like, "Okay, he never gets to listen to his own music. This poor kid." So I was like, "Do you want to listen to music? Like, do you want to play a song? You can play whatever." And he was like, "Oh, I don't really care about music. It's kind of just background noise." And
Yeah.
which I think is so weird because I have
I
such
listen
like
to
a
my music so much
yes,
when it's on.
yes.
He has
I'm
talked about
so
that a lot.
I'm so like passionate about music. I feel like
And the
I
areas that
really
you like
listen to it and
are super easily like we're influenced by our music a lot probably because of how
yes,
much
we
we
are.
like our music.
Yes. My point with that was you might think that the music you're listening to is just background noise. It really influences you more than you think.
It's the
Like,
subconscious, like what
yes.
you're taking in.
Yeah. You're feeding your brain. If you're feeding your brain bad stuff, like lies, that's what's going to be sitting in there. You need to fill your brain with the truth, maybe.
Yeah.
With the word.
Yeah, because I've heard that a lot when my mom will say, like, if you're like hating on yourself and your body, your
Yeah.
brain cannot, and I've heard like my friends who are like our psychology majors talk to me about this as well.
Mhm.
Your brain cannot differentiate the truth versus lies when you're saying it or when other
Yeah.
people are saying it.
Yeah.
Like you might be
I've
like,
heard that too.
yeah, it might be like I could insult you for something and you're like, okay, she's joking, but
Yeah.
that's gonna replay in your head. That's
You're
why it's
you're
important.
going to be
Hmm.
cooking that up in your head and
Yeah.
just obsessing over it
That's why
almost.
it's important to say positive things and truthful things to your friends, to the people
Mhm.
you're close with, because you don't realize that even though you're joking about things to yourself or to other people, that like your brain is taking that in and like that is stuff that you're gonna sit and obsess over and that
Yeah.
will be important to you because you, like the psychology thing of like your brain can't differentiate, oh, she's kidding. It's like
Yeah.
no, that was said to me and
That
then you
was said to
replay it.
me.
Yeah.
They thought it like that kind of
Yeah.
thing. That whole toxic like cycle
And so,
starts.
like, subconsciously, if you're just consuming a lot of negativity and not the truth, like the word of God, being around positive influences, if you're
Yeah.
not submerging yourself in truth, you will be influenced by those lies
Yeah.
extremely strong. You will be extremely strongly influenced by lies.
Yeah, so that goes back to like who you're surrounding yourself with. Like you might think that you can just hang around people. It's easy to push that to the side.
Hmm.
Like overlook the people that you're surrounding yourself with and kind of like background music. Like you can think that the people you're hanging out with are just like background music and it doesn't affect you, but subconsciously it does. 'Cause you're
Hmm.
always absorbing what you're hearing, what
Hmm.
you're seeing,
You're learning
what
all
you're
the time.
doing. Yeah. You learn something every day, all the
Yeah.
time.
You're like we're us as people as humans are, I mean, like, we're built to learn and to, like, follow and to
Mm-hmm.
seek after things.
Mm-hmm.
And if we have bad things in front of us that we're following and seeking, and we're
Yeah.
not seeking the truth, like, we are going to absorb all of that in a way that is, like, not good for us, that we shouldn't
Yeah.
be. We should be absorbing the truth. And if we're putting ourselves in situations where we're not and we're not setting those boundaries with people, we're gonna absorb all that negativity, and that's not a good
Mm-hmm.
thing.
That's why it's so important to have people that
Good
are
circle, I
close to
guess.
you music that is just anything that you let influence you.
Yeah,
Like
like the shows you watch.
Yeah, the shows you watch.
Yeah.
That's good.
The shows you watch, the movies, the like, just like if you like watch a lot of romantic stuff and you're like romanticizing over things, that also can put you in a state of like delusion. Like when people are
Reading
like,
too, when you're reading, but I read a lot of romance books.
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
and that's why
Like,
we talked about that. We were just on vacation and she was
yeah,
reading a romance novel and I was like, I personally like, I'm not judging her, like, because I know like whatever you
yeah,
read, like if you like reading those, go for it. For me personally, with my personality, my brain, the way I've realized I am, if I read stuff like that, I get so invested in it and so obsessed with the idea of love when I'm reading that I prioritize that over anything. And I know for me that's a weakness of mine. I can't do that. I have to prioritize I have to prioritize God in my head over a relationship because
yeah,
the idea of love is so
overpowering for
something
you.
I seek
Yeah,
so much and something that I enjoy so much and I want so deeply that it's like I know if that's something for me, I can't obsess over it. I can't sit and read a whole book about love because that's all I'll think about. I need to and that doesn't sound bad. It's like, oh, it's a book about love. That's okay. My mom has told me that like for girls, we are emotional as men are physical. So them watching porn, it's the same thing when we're watching and reading romance.
It's like
It's the
whole
same high.
idolizing.
Yeah, it's the same high and the same like connection that we get with that when they see something physical.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. I feel like it's different for me when I'm reading romance books. I went through a whole season of like just being alone, not even talking to guys, not even paying attention to guys.
You were in
And
your singleness for the long
yes, and
time.
I was so good with being independent. And I feel like yeah, so that's just not something that I struggle with.
And we are
So
different in that
that's
area
yeah.
because you can
So
emotionally.
I like hearing
Yeah,
your perspective on it because that
I
is
feel like you are
very
good
not
at
how I
separating
am.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why when I was telling her about it, I was like, I'm not judging you. I'm like, she can
Yeah.
read it, and then she's like, da da da. I would read it,
Yeah.
and I would be obsessed. I
And
can't
I feel like I'm
idolize
not
love.
like a sappy person either.
Right. Yeah,
I'm
she's not
very
very
like
emotional like that. Yeah.
yeah.
And so I can't idolize love because I do see that it is like a thing for me that I will prioritize over God. And I
Yeah.
don't want it to become an idol. And so I can't put myself in situations where I'm obsessing over the idea of love because I don't think that's healthy. I don't, for me, I'm not saying, like, for me, I don't see that as a healthy thing. And so I've had to,
That's a
yeah.
whole other thing.
Yeah, we'll do a
Jeez.
podcast on idols. I think an idol baseline is anything that you prioritize or have an importance over God. Even if they're a
Yeah.
positive thing, you can still make that an idol.
Yep.
You can
Even
make a
if it
person.
seems as like it's a positive thing.
Yeah, if it's above God,
If it's above God, it's not a positive thing, most likely.
I'm in a business class, so I just set up my LinkedIn profile not too long ago, and by set up I mean like I had it, but I needed to like make it more
Big
accessible
girl
and
stuff.
running. I'm turning 18 in 3 days. So like be more active on it and like I've kind of gotten into like that business side more. And so a post that I had just seen on there, it says I don't remember who posted it, but it said the people you associate with determine 95% of your success or failure in life. And I was like, wow, that's actually so like that's a really good way to put it.
You are what you eat.
Yeah, you are what you eat. And I noticed that especially last semester being at a college now and being around people all the time, whoever you're surrounding yourself with, the type of friend group you're surrounding yourself with, that's what you're around 7 days a week or 5 days a week, I guess, for school. That's all those people are similar in ways, like
Yeah.
which you have to be careful with because you're not your friends, but as much as you're not your friends, I think you are.
Yeah.
Because you can have little pieces.
No, definitely there's things that you pick up from
you value the same things.
Yeah.
I think that for me personally, the people I surround myself with, I like to value the same things as them and see the same things as important. Because if you're going to be around those people and spending all that time with them, they're going to
You
become
have
an
to have
influence.
common ground. You have to have like something in common with them.
And they're going to become an influence if you're around them all the time, whether you like it or not. And so I think, yeah, the people that you associate yourself with determine 95% of your success or failure. If you're around people who are not driven, have no goals in life, why are you going to sit there and act like, oh, I have all these goals, I'm so driven? Because they're not going to encourage that. Where if you have people that are like, yeah, no, me too, or like, also like striving towards things, you guys can do that together. And so yeah, if you're gonna surround yourself with success, you're gonna become successful. If you're gonna surround yourself with not success, you're not. So for me personally, I saw this, and the first thing I thought of was with dance. I always used to tell my mom this. When I would dance around people that were when I would dance in the same room as the team above me, I was like I danced so much better. Yeah, I always danced better when I was around people that were better than me because I was moving,
It pushes
pushing.
you to be better.
I was pushing myself to be on their level, and that made me push myself to be the best version and work to my full ability. So like if they were just genuinely better than me, because I mean, you're gonna have people that are better than you.
Oh,
They
yeah.
danced longer than me. They
Yep.
danced more
All
than
the
me.
time.
Right. You're never
In
gonna be the
everything,
worst.
too.
You're never gonna be the worst, and you're never gonna be the best. And once you can figure that out, that all you can do is be the best you, it's gonna help so much. But it's like,
it's like healthy competition.
yeah, when I was around these girls that were better than me, I wasn't like, oh, they're better than me. I was like, okay, this is inspiration. This is pushing me to do the best that I can do and be the best that I can be. And so it's like being around these people that were better than me and more successful in an area made me push to work to be my best self in that area. And I think if you're surrounding yourself with people that are always a little bit faster, like in track, we call them, I think it's called like your rabbit or whatever, but it's like you need to run next to people that are faster than you, because if you're running with people that are the same speed or slower, you get comfortable.
Not challenging.
Yeah. You have to
You
run.
need to be challenged. You need to step out of your bubble.
Once you're the fastest person on the team, that's the speed you stay at.
Yeah.
If you're the slowest, all you can do is get faster because the people in front of you are pushing you. Like if you're in a race and there's people in front of you, you're pushing because you want to beat them. Like if you're a competitive person or just people in general, like you want to get farther ahead. And so if you have someone in front of you, someone having that healthy competition with you and that healthy like pull in life, you're going to want to aspire to be that and work that hard. And so I think that's I don't know, I think it's good to have people in your life that are ahead and that are moving farther because you can work to be at that level.
Yeah. You need people that will challenge you and lead you to the feet of Jesus. That is exactly what you need. That's the whole point of like surrounding yourself with positive people, music.
Okay, so now we're going to talk. We just had a huge debriefing session about our podcast.
Yeah, that definitely could have happened over lunch or something, but it happened right here.
Back to the verses we're going to talk about. So the first one that I found earlier was Proverbs 13:20. Okay, it says, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. I think that goes back to the LinkedIn statistic.
Yeah.
Of just who you surround yourself with is kind of who you, like, the direction you're going to go. Even if you don't want to say who you're going to become, because a lot of people can be around people and not become like that, but it's the direction you start to go. Walk with the wise and you become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm.
Yeah.
So if you're walking with people that are going this way versus this way.
Yeah.
If you're walking with someone, where do you think you're going to go? You're going to go in the same direction as them. If you're going on a walk, because this is how I have to explain stuff to myself, and you're walking with someone and you're holding their hand, you cannot go separate directions if you're like this with someone. You're going to go the same way of the people you're closely connected with. Now, if you're mentoring someone, or if you're being a positive influence in someone's life, you can be walking in different directions and still talking to each other.
Yep.
And still feeding into them and have them go your direction without being influenced, type of a thing. It's just, I honestly, the piece of influence also comes down to the piece of boundaries of how close you're letting people into your space and into your, like, that piece of your life too. So
yes.
The next verse that I have, there's a lot of good verses about this, so I do have a handful. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. That's a deep one. The way my mom always explained it to me, and she definitely got this from a different analogy, but is if you have a fishbowl with fresh water in it, if you drop in a pollutant every single day, and you're not replenishing the fresh water, the pollutant's going to take over.
Yeah.
And you're going to kill that fish.
The fish is going to go gone.
Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. If you have something good and you're filling it with bad, slowly or fast, that is going to, and unless you're replenishing that with good and with the truth, that's what's going to take over. My mom has always said it's easier to pull someone into the dark than it is the light. You're going to have more of a struggle pulling someone into the light with you than they're going to have by pulling you into the dark. Because lies overpower truth so much,
That's with people.
unfortunately.
I hear that with music.
Mm-hmm.
That is where my mind is at right now with
Mhm.
music. If you have like lies in your music that are being fed to you and you're not replenishing it, you're gonna be a dead fish.
You're gonna be a
dead fish.
Fish. The thing that I had with that verse too is I said I was hanging out with people this summer that were giving excuses to my fleshly desires and making them seem okay, and I didn't have accountability and I wasn't seeking good advice or counsel, so
Mhm.
I wasn't replenishing the lies that I was hanging around with truth, and I was letting them influence my decisions that I was making, and the moves that I was making in life, based on what they thought rather than based on truth. I was using them as my excuse for my actions rather than truth.
Yeah.
To give me an excuse for my
good.
sinly desires.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can you'll find reasons to do what you want to do.
Yeah, you'll find justification anywhere.
Mm-hmm. You will. The second you find justification, the second you find approval,
because that's what you're looking for.
You look for approval, and if you're looking for approval in a certain area, you're gonna find it. You're gonna look for you're gonna find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Whether that's justification or approval for something, if you want to do something, you'll find a reason to do it.
Yeah.
So you need to be looking for reasons to do something positive and not, from that standpoint. The next verse I have is Proverbs 22:24-25. Do not make friends with a hot-tempered person. Do not associate with one easily angered. This just goes back to who you're hanging out around is who you'll start acting like.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you're around a really peaceful and calm person, you're gonna feel that peace and that calm. If you're around someone who's always negative and swearing, that's a big thing. If you're around people who are swearing, that's contagious.
Yeah. That's exactly. Yep, I learned that.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that.
Like she noticed it one day. I had completely stopped swearing, and I was at school one day, and I came home. I had come to your house, and I had said something, and you were like, "What did you just say?" And I was like, like I said instead of dang.
Yeah.
And I had said it in a sentence really quick.
I don't remember that.
It
must have been a little bit ago.
It was in like October. And so I had said it,
yeah.
I had said it, and she like looked at me and she was like, I was like, I've been at school all day. I've been around people who are swearing.
Yeah.
And I noticed right there how easily
because
I was
it's
in
so
that area.
normalized in that specific environment that you're in for so long that you get used to hearing it.
Like
so
it showed me that even
like,
when I thought that I was like, oh, I can control what I'm influenced by. I couldn't at that point.
Yeah.
And it showed me that when I said it, and she noticed it, and I was like, I didn't even
I was
notice
like,
I started
Ella,
swearing again.
really?
Yeah. Okay, this one's good. I think this one connects with me and you a lot. Is as iron sharpens iron, one person sharpens another. So what I wrote with that is me and Ellie will debrief with each other and go off on rants, but then we encourage each other at the end. Like we can get in our little like, oh, this person's this or whatever, but then I feel like at the end, the difference between when I gossip or whatever with other people versus now when I like debrief more, it's not really gossiping because we are taking it from a positive angle, and I don't want to be like, oh, we're better than gossiping, but it's like it's a different way we talk about it. I feel like we talk about it to work through it in our brains. Like you have to work through your thoughts,
work through it,
and then
get another perspective.
Yeah. Right, we're solving the problem rather than just, oh, this person sucks. It's like she can help me have understanding for the person and vice versa.
Yeah.
Like if she's talking to me about something, I'm going to be like, I hear this, I'll hold this for you to throw up in and get all your bad thoughts out, but then you need to replenish it with truth. So then let's see what the Bible says about it. Let's see it from a different angle. I'm not angry at this person because it's
possibly this person is going through something, so we can't hold that against them.
Right, like reminding her to have grace or an understanding from a different perspective. Even if the person is in the wrong, it's also helpful to have someone remind you that like you've been in the wrong too before.
Yeah.
And just kind of like
now do you see how that looks from another perspective?
A true friend is someone who's gonna, even when it's uncomfortable, call you out for stuff and also remind you of someone else's rather than just justify why you hate someone or whatever. And then a quick talk on like mentors, like the role that like having someone ahead of you in life. That's kind of what I talked about earlier with how I danced better when there was people that were ahead of me. You need to have a mentor in your finances. You need to have a mentor in your career, in your sports, in your spiritual life, in your relationships, like having a mentor together in a relationship and also separately, to keep the communication between you guys, but then also keep that like person who's been farther in life. So like if you're dating someone, have mentors that are married, that have been through the dating, have been through the engagement, have been through the marriage.
Yeah.
Have those people that are like, yeah, you guys are struggling with this right now. We struggled with it too. So like if like if someone's in a blended family and they're struggling in their marriage, they need to have mentors who have been married, who are also in a blended family, who have been through those struggles and are ahead and can give you hope for the other side, and can push you to work through the struggle and through that.
Can challenge you.
Yeah, can challenge you, like just like you challenge me when I say certain things, or I challenge you when you say certain things. It's good to have that in whatever situation to push you farther. Yeah.
So the next verse that we have here is Proverbs 17:17. Yeah, I got thanks. And it says, "A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity." And adversity means
like a tough time, like struggling and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that word is just like basically another word for struggles.
Yes. So basically, you need to have friends that will basically push you and like call you out on things. Because those are in a time that you're struggling, in a time that you're like not being yourself.
Hold up to.
Yes, you need someone that will hold you accountable to what you value, because you're going to slip up sometimes. That's just what happens. And yeah, we're humans, we mess up, we're flawed. And friends that are loyal and have like a good faith base, they're looking out for your faith as well. It's good to have friends that will stick by you in those times and that will push you to be better. Like, I know you can do better.
Like they believe in you, and they see your potential.
They want better for you.
If your friend doesn't believe that you can do any better, they'll let you sit in that.
Yeah.
If they believe that you
They'll
can do better
encourage you. They'll encourage friends that don't have like your best interests at heart are not they're not always going to they'll kind of just go with the flow. Like what they'll support
whatever you're
you
doing at that
in
time.
anything, yeah, because they want to be they value your friendship more than they value your faith.
It's so important in a friendship and a relationship to value that person more than your connection with them.
Yes.
That might sound bad, but you need to value and love that person more than you love your connection with that person. Okay, so we want to answer a question. It says
that we got in our last video.
In our modesty video.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys are doing amazing with your videos, but I still have a question about modesty. I heard you mention like cleavage and butts, but I didn't really hear you say anything about bellies, and I'm wondering if it's not modest. Is it okay for me to wear my belly out or no?
That just reminds me of like what you kept saying about like your heart level. Like why do you have your belly out? I wear things personally. I wear things that have I do too.
Yeah, and so I think, and all my
It's not like a lot either.
All my outfits in Florida, you could see a little bit of my midriff.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say no, because that would be a hypocrite. Like I still do wear stuff with my stomach out. The thing that I have learned about that is if I'm gonna wear I don't know how to answer this question without honestly just being very specific about it. If I'm gonna wear a higher shirt, I'll wear higher pants so that a little bit of it is out. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna wear low-waisted pants, I'll wear a longer shirt. So that if I do have my stomach out, it's not like an excessive amount, like I'm walking out with a bra and low-waisted pants on. I won't wear clothes like that anymore. I did actually, like, I went to Disney last summer, and I wore a sports bra and jean shorts. Like, my whole stomach was out. And I feel like now I wouldn't be comfortable wearing that. Because I've just kind of, like, gotten more comfortable with wearing things that were covering.
Even, like, the beginning of this school year, like, I look back at some of the pictures when my school first started up, and I, like, took outfit pictures, like, for you and, like, mainly for you.
Yeah.
And some of them, like, I literally wore, like, a bra top to school and shorts.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
And I look back at that, I'm like, I don't think I could do that now.
It's like you lose that, like, ability to just. But
Yeah.
going back to the question,
Yeah, sorry.
if it's modest, I think from where we're coming at, it's just the main thing. If we're talking about like just details, is moderation. Where if you're gonna have a little bit of your belly out, that's okay. It's up to your heart level and what you're convicted about.
Yeah.
But just see it from the spot of, why am I wearing it? Am I wearing it because I want to show off my whole stomach? Or am I wearing it because it's like, oh, that's a really cute top. It does show my stomach, so I'll wear up like some higher jeans or higher jean shorts. Type of thing. Because there is a lot of cute shirts that are like shorter or like show my stomach. And I'll just make sure that the rest of my outfit isn't like my mom and me were shopping, and I had gotten it's like a long sleeve like white top. It was like long sleeve, and it came up to like kind of right here.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like something like that, if you wore with like leggings, it's a tight fitting crop top with leggings. That's not really the best message you're sending across.
Yeah.
If you're wearing that with like some jeans, or like I've worn it with like these sweatpants, that's cute because it's moderation. I mean, it's like it's evening it out kind of. And so it's like just figuring out how to appropriately dress something.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
If your top is over here, make sure the other parts are over here.
Right, yeah. If you're
try to meet in the middle.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you're wearing a shirt that's more inappropriate, wear some pants that make up for it. Like, don't wear tight stuff with a crop top.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like wear things that it's like, oh, she's wearing that because she finds that cute, not because she's trying to show her whole body off. Yes. And it's like, we don't have perfect answers for these questions either. We're just gonna answer it from the experience.
From like, we're gonna answer the best we can.
Right. And so
but it is really kind of your own interpretation. I feel like.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can help you out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah, thank you for the question.
We love that.
Yeah, if you have any more questions or clarifying stuff about any of the things we talked about, please comment them, or you can DM us on Instagram. If you don't want it to be a public thing, you can always DM us, and we'll either send a video or type something up for you. So if you have any questions, you can DM us at Girl Meets Christ _podcast on Instagram. We are more active on there now, posting reels and stuff, trying to get the message across. If you have any topic suggestions, we are also taking those, so please make sure to comment them or DM us. And yeah, that was our topic for today. This is probably more of the ones that I was more excited for. So.
Oh yeah. Once we started going, I was pretty excited.
This is definitely a good one. So thank you guys so much for watching.
If you like this one, it's only gonna get better from here.
Okay.
Bye.
Ellie's boyfriend reveal. This is Tyler. This is the famous Tyler.
The Pookie that was on vacation that left me is here.
Just do a voice reveal, no face.
Hello.
So weird.
When I was laughing. Hi, welcome to Girl Meets Christ podcast. This is your host, Ellie.
And Ellie. So now it's
I love peanut butter. Take that! But the devil no, not today. Ah! What are you doing here? Get out of here.
Young and spruce.
Yeah.
Spruce! Spruce! Not you being a tree. I love that the lighting changed. The lighting changed throughout this whole video because it got darker. Should we wrap it up?
This was a good one, guys.